All right, so we got all you guys that were here this past week, aka yesterday, um, based on when I'm recording this. Jack, for whatever reason, I apologize. I didn't record your front view in slow motion. Uh, so we'll just start with your video. Um, Playing through once, I have everyone here. Actually, I'll have to get everyone playing again, but what we're going to look for is front foot strike position. So boom, 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 and boom. Oops. Okay, so here's everyone's front foot strike position. We want to think about at this point in time that our glove is beginning to finish somewhat, beginning to finish somewhat, beginning to finish somewhat in our chest. Okay, we can see right now this glove is still kind of pretty far away from us, extended fully out. We can see same here. The glove is still pretty far away from our body. We can see over here the glove has started to curl. The hands begin to finish, but it's way outside of our body. All right, let's look at our front legs. We can see we still got a pretty big angle here that's going to cause us some issues. We also have this angle here, which is probably not ideal for us. We'd probably want more to be looking to have shin here. So again, we're not trying to stride on a very straight tightrope line, right? We're trying to stride, your back foot's in line with your hip. Front foot needs to be in line with this hip. You're trying to put everything on the same tightrope, right? Like here, boom and boom. Like we're trying to tightrope here, but look where the toe's at. Just put the heel behind it. This is all right. This is real good here. We're balanced with this position here. Okay, so something to be thinking about here is getting this shin to get more underneath ourselves, because what's the motion that's got to occur from this here, this position forward, is this front leg's got to lock out. This knee's got to straighten out. It's got to lock out. And if we watch over here with Jack, if we watch his front knee here, yes, it swivels out. We need to be landing more here, right? We need to get that leg rotated more around at front foot strike, not just the foot, but the knee. We gotta get the whole leg rotated here. But once it gets here, Jack does have the ability to lock it out. But that locking out occurs a little late. Why is it occurring late? Because he couldn't lock it out until the knee stabilized. Knee didn't get stable until here. So once the knee's stable, now it can lock out. So if we want the lockout phase to occur earlier, we need to get the knee to be stable earlier. In order to get the knee to be stable earlier, we need to get it landing more in a position like here. Potentially even this could work depending on what this knee does. All right, so it's pretty good out considering what we're dealing with the front leg. We need that front leg to land in a better position. So that way the knee can be stable and not get that little wobble, that little side-to-side instability that happens right now. Boom. And if we just go back and forth, it's this right here. If you just look at that front knee and all that instability, that's all of our power. We're just letting it stay in the knee instead of letting it get shot back up to the upper half. Because we're able to drive better. We're learning how to get more strength and power out of this back leg. And where's that back leg strength go to? It goes into the ground out here. What hits the ground out here? Boom, this front foot. Then it got to go to the knee. Then it's got to go to the upper body. But if the knee can't take it right away and it's got to roll before it can, we're missing out on that power. So again, we're doing a good job getting the backside rotated, backside driving to get the hips to rotate. But like we said earlier, we need to see this shin getting more underneath this knee. Doesn't need to be exactly underneath the knee, but it needs to be more in agreement of what the foot is, right? The foot is trying to go this way, but the body is here. And the foot wants to be here. Our foot needs to be more straight or slightly closed off, not quite so drastically opened up here. As we go, though, that knee does find the ability to not roll out because it is in a good alignment, but like we were talking about most of the day, on how long it was taking to get your leg to lock out, if it even was locking out. And we can see that how much your knee is bent this whole time. You're throwing, your hips are just going more and more forward because that knee is not locking out, stopping the hips from going forward, sending the energy up through the hand. And we'll be able to see that better and more easily when we get to the side views. Okay, so backside firing better. Glove path is much better because look, we're here now, and then we're here. It's not peeling us out anymore. So good job on all the hard work on getting that to be better. We still got just a little bit of that front shoulder opening up, but from where we've gone to where we're at, or where we've gone from where we were, is pretty good progress. We just got to think about not letting that shoulder get to here, but trying to keep, maybe let's see, who can we look at on the team? Let's go to Jack here. And I'm seeing that his front foot strike kind of more right over the shoulder, where you were right here. But then by the time the foot gets in the ground, that front shoulder is just slightly open. So you're just missing out on a little bit of power. But real good progress so from where we were. So good job on that. Now it's shin underneath the knee better. Underneath the knee better. Don't overly open this front foot. So if we don't want to overly open the front foot, we probably shouldn't have it already opened here. Because then it's just going to keep opening and opening and opening and opening. Because now it's where it needs to be to land. But now it's just going to keep opening and opening and opening. It's too much. Only this much. Not this extra much of rotation with the foot. The leg keeps rotating, but it's got to be the shin, not just the foot. and then lock that leg out sooner, which we'll be able to see in the side view better once we get there. Okay, so at your front foot strike, leg, like we've been mentioning, is in a good spot. Like we also mentioned earlier, glove is way outside of our body. We got to be finishing that inside of our body, not outside of our body. Keeping it tight like we see here. Keeping it tight like we see down here. Keeping it tight like we see down here. Keeping it tight like we've been seeing on Jack down here. All right, so we want to be watching these guys, especially in this bottom row here, on how they're finishing their gloves. Even over here is pretty good, but these are probably the best on the squad of how the glove swivels and finishes to the body. Swivels and gets to the body, swivels and stays by the body. Versus yours, as it swivels, it's swiveling out, out, out. Okay, but what did we want to think about with your previous video was making sure that that upper body was not rotated at this point in time, which it's done a better job of that. We can see the back foot starting to rotate and drive. It just hasn't done it all the way. Now it has. And then we can see how much we've had to sacrifice the upper body in order to get that to fire all the way. So we just got to think, rotate that back foot like you do those motions there, that motion there, and then the foot hits the ground. We rotate and drive into our stride. Rotate and drive into our stride, not stride, then try to drive. Because once you try to do that, the drive just slides that foot out. Nothing's really happening with the drive because the drive can't take you anywhere because we've already are stuck to the ground. So that foot just then kicks out from underneath us, just kicks out from underneath us and doesn't really help us with our throw. Okay, now you have the illusion that we finished the glove well because it's here, right? But look what we had to do to get it there. We had to like really pull it in, okay? Which is a good motion to be able to do when we throw is kind of think about like squeezing that together. But we want to be thinking that it doesn't have to come from way out here in order to do that. Have it be more here to do it there, not so far out here. So he's got to think backside rotate more before the front foot hits the ground and keep that glove tighter to the body as it swivels into its finish, like we see here and down here, versus it getting way outside of there. Okay, real good high leg lift. So that front foot strike, we got slight knee in, but if that knee can stay there and just lock out and not swivel out before it locks out, we're going to be okay. We can see, we're starting to see the belt buckle a little better. Back's foot has almost completed its drive, but again, because it hasn't completed it, it's going to just slide out as it tries to finish. Slides out as it tries to finish. Slides out as it tries to finish. It wouldn't be sliding out if we didn't have the brakes already put onto the ground. So again, if this front foot was still in the air like this, while our back leg, our back foot specifically was trying to do this motion, it wouldn't be sliding off the ground. It would stay in the ground and your body would continue to come towards us. You would continue to gain ground, gain power, gain momentum. All right, so we just got to think what your back foot wants to do. We just have to allow it more time to do it completely. You're doing like 92% of it. We need 100% of it. So in order to do the last 8% of this movement that you're doing, that back foot, we just need to make sure that this foot doesn't hit the ground as early as it does. So to make sure that this foot doesn't hit the ground as early as it does, we got to keep our weight back a little bit longer, or we got to drive our bodies out more aggressively so everything starts a little bit sooner and goes a little bit quicker. So we can benefit by getting this leg lift to be, yes, up high, but maybe not kicking it out as far. Because now, by the time we get ourselves going out, the foot's already this low. Versus, let's see, someone on the team that gained some good ground before they okay, so right here, front foot and your front foot are rather similar places, but we've traveled. We've got some momentum already going forward versus now we go forward. And it's going to be a lot easier to see from the side views when we get there. But two things that we talked about yesterday was the glove getting out more. And obviously you're watching yours. This is the first time you were trying to do something different to get it out more. So it kind of looks a little bit more different than everyone else over here. But just kind of watch what these guys are doing. And again, the guys on the bottom here have some of the best glove pass on your team. Pretty good over here as well. All right. And it's just making sure that we allow the time. It's a timing mechanism, right? So it's just staying in motion and not getting to its finish until it's time to rotate and throw. So if we watch, when does this glove start to rotate over here? When it's time to throw. And we can do the same thing over here. When does this glove start to rotate? When it's time to throw. All right. When does this glove start to rotate? When it's time to throw. We look at yours. When does your glove start to rotate? Rotate, 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 rotate. Now it's time to throw. So yes, you did a better job getting it further away from your body, but it was so quick to want to get back to here, which is essentially where it was before I made a comment about your glove. Where it's at right now would be as soon as your hands would separate, this glove would not travel at all this way. It would just go straight to this position. So the entire time that your leg was moving down and out, your glove would always be in this position here. And you can see we just want to get some rhythm, some fluidity, some timing with that glove getting out, allowing us to get out. Because if that glove stays here, it's going to be hard for you to get anywhere besides here. And we can see just how these guys are way more out in front through their release, way more out in front through release, because of that ability of that glove to get more in front of them versus yours. We're trying to get out in front. We can't until now, and then it's over. By the time you can get out in front, boom, it's already over. So when we get to the side view, you'll be able to see that leg lift process of being able to get the glove going better and getting that backside rotated fully in time. So front foot strike, you can see that big angle like we talked about. Your back foot's trying to drive, but if we just watch, most of it is just heels going up, 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 up. We need to be going out, 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 out. And we want to think about keeping that back foot up against that rubber for as long as possible and then driving us forward. So if we watch Jack here again and just watch his back foot, see how that even to this point here, that heel still on the ground. Your heel starting to come off. Jack's heel. Where's it going? It's coming off, but it's coming forward. Your heel's coming off and it's going up, 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 up. We watch and see that the back heel is still on the ground, still on the ground, still on the ground, still on the ground. Now it's coming up, but it's not coming straight up. It's coming forward. So what we want to think about is, why is that happening? It's because we're letting the weight go into our quads here instead of being sitting down into our pitching delivery. We need to sit. We need to load our glutes in our butt. We need to be sitting. We need to be sitting. We need to be sitting. Versus we're trying to sit, but we're not really getting that depth. And we can see this back knee then kind of just going this way. Where if we watch these guys' back knees from this point in time, they're going to go to us, to the camera. To us. Back knee's going to go to us. Even with this awkward stride, that back knee is still working its way towards us. Versus your back knee kind of going towards this way. And now it's just kind of spinning to get to us. And we can see while the back knee is spinning, what's that front knee doing? It's also spinning. It's also spinning. Also spinning. By the time that front knee stabilizes, the ball is well out of our hands, meaning that we didn't throw the ball with any of our upper body or any of our lower body. It was 100% a throw with just our upper body. And we can see when that happens, we don't have the ability to get down and out in front and accelerate that ball down the mound. It just kind of comes out of our hands, and then we finish down. Versus some of these guys who get to release the ball down-ish there. Releasing the ball down. Releasing the ball down. Releasing the ball down. Versus a lot of releasing the ball up and straight forward before we try to finish down. So we gotta really figure out what drills we're gonna be doing to help you with this lower body rotational process to start seeing some progress with what our legs are able to do for us. My order, I know I've done. Yes. I would like to see this leg lift get higher if we can, which I'm sure you have the capability of that. It's only going to help us with our power production and our ability to stride further, aka drive our bodies out further, not reach further, but drive for further, longer distances, because the front foot will not be as close to the ground because it will be higher from the ground by the time the leg starts to come down. So think about a higher leg lift, but once we get into front foot strike, again, like we kind of mentioned earlier, this glove's a little still far from your body, and we'll be able to see that better on the side view. But we got this knee slightly in, but as long as it doesn't roll out, which it does a little bit, but once it gets here, can we stabilize it? We kind of do, we kind of don't. So what we got to think about, we can even see that heel slide a little bit on that front foot. Why? Because we got a lot of weight in that toes. Why do we have a lot of weight in the toes and none in the heel? Because this front foot should have probably been about 2-3 inches. Probably about 1-2 inches further, because we just didn't have time to complete our boom. There's the foot. Now the back foot wants to drive. It can't. It just spins in place now. We need that backside to rotate us into our stride. We didn't do any rotation or any drive off that back foot. We just opened up the front, but we didn't do anything with the back. And that'll be something that we can see from the side view as well. But our main thing all these weeks has been arm path. And from the side view, we'll be able to see that it is a lot cleaner, a lot better. And we can even tell from here that it's that way as well. So we'll definitely want to keep thinking about arm path with everything we do with throwing, even maybe doing some of your dry throwing drills before we start playing catch. For the next couple of weeks, just to keep reinforcing that good muscle memory. But now it's going to be all about getting that backside to rotate on time, so that way the hips are in a better position, the upper body can be further back, we can create better and more upper lower half separation, which will increase our velocity and continue to minimize the stress that's on our arm even more than we've already reduced it by cleaning up the arm path. All right, so we just look at some of these examples here of, once again, that good front foot strike position for those of us that need to revisit that, which again was a lot of us, aka almost all of us. Looking at the back foots of these guys and seeing how much they're turned over and still connected with the ground at front foot strike. Okay. Also noticing the position that their foot and knee are at in relation, for those of us that have kind of cockeyed or angled zigzag things going on with our knee and foot position. Noticing how knee, shin, foot, knee, shin, foot. Slight on an angle, but it's also on the same angle as the hip, knee, foot. Hip, knee, foot. Hip, knee, foot. Hip, knee, foot. Okay? Belt buckle, belt buckle, belt buckle, belt buckle, belt buckle. And now we just watch on what that also glove. I mean, all dudes, all eras, same spot essentially almost. Boom. All right, so all different dudes doing it. All right, again, Bauer, hip, knee, shin in a pretty decent alignment with one another. Knee's going to stay there. The only thing it's going to do is lock out. Boom. Letting everything come down and out in front. Accelerating things downhill. Downhill. Glove, 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 glove.